So it was less than $400. We'll say less than $400 to start. We weren't going to make this video originally because we didn't think we were going to do this well, but we thought it was worth sharing at this point. So before we came on this cruise, we strategized, practiced, and rehearsed on as many different gambling apps and Casino Quest things as we possibly could have. Shout out to them on YouTube. And our strategy was very, very simple. Create bet strategies on games that don't have systems. On games that have systems, play the best systems. And on slot machines, if you're ever in the profit from any point on the slot machine, you walk away immediately. So that has been working out unbelievably well. The first night we had 385. I took out the 180, and this was the whole start to the casino. I needed to build bankroll to play some of the systems. So I started on roulette, and I was going to also just try to do point building strategies where it makes it look like you're spending a lot of money, because we lost our prime status in the casino because we've not played in a long time. So I wanted to build a bankroll by using a point system and slowly rank that up a little bit so we can start earning points and money. I started with Rumple. For those that don't know, our Rumple strategy is 5 units on 6 different quads that go across the board. You never take the same line so you don't overlap. You basically get 1 to 2 full entire columns, and then you pick 5 random one-off numbers. So there's 8 whacks on a single zero roulette, which they have downstairs. It's 7 whacks, and if the quad hits, you win 2 of your units back, or you win 1 unit back. If the single hits, it's a cover bet. You just win 1 of those singles. So for example, on a $5 bet, you would do $1 on your singles. That's a $35 bet total with 5 36s, or 5 of the 6s, and then 5 of the cover bets. If you do 2, which they have to do downstairs because the minimums downstairs on the roulette table are $2 on all the numbers. So we have to do 10 and 2, which is where I started. It's a $70 bet. You have a 82% chance to win $10. You have a 7% chance to win $2, and then you have a 10% chance to lose. Really is kind of like how the odds work. So you do that system to build a bankroll or to build points. I did that, and I just did not whack. That 10% never came. I think I made about $80 on that first Rumple session. At the same table, I switched strategies to Fibonacci. This was going to be our money building system on roulette. You have to have a bankroll to be able to do it. You just follow the Fibonacci sequence on a dozen. If you lose, you go up in progression. It basically is 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. On a $10 table, that's 10, 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, 130. And I don't think we're ever going to even have the bankroll. We do now. We do have the bankroll to be able to do a 130 bet, but we always said if we got past 80, if we got up to 80, we would just cut that as a loss. I got to 80 twice, and surprisingly, the 80 hit twice. I was like, okay, good. I'm up like $160. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. I switched back to Rumple and never whacked. I went back to Fibonacci. And then this is where the Fibonacci burned me, because I got to that 80 and I had 130 because we built the bankroll up. I think I only had about $160 left, and I did the 130 and it didn't hit. So the next bet would be 210. And if that hit, we would have been up $500. I didn't have the bankroll. I didn't want to dip into the other 200 because I was only playing with the 180.
Good strategy to stay under.
So I had $40 left. I went back to Rumple and I built that bankroll back up. I played about 12 hands or 12 spins, and then I got to about $90 from the 40 to about the 90.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back to Fibonacci. I hit the 80. I walked off the table with 240. So we turned 180 into 240. And that was probably an hour and a half of gambling, which is really good to the casino because it makes it look like we're big spenders and it jacks up the points. Our goal originally was just to get prime. Now, because the systems are working, and we'll talk a lot about what else we're doing on blackjack, what we're doing on slots.
And then we played craps randomly at the end of the night.
And that did so freaking well with our crap strategy. We'll talk about all the different strategies we have for the games. But basically our goal now for the rest of the 6 days we have the cruise, because this is our day 2 on an 8-day cruise.
Should we just like...
is $1,000 profit. So we want to get 1350 when we walk off and prime. If we can do that, I will comfortably be able to say our system can break the bank at a casino, like on a cruise ship. Like you can actually make money on a cruise ship. So our betting strategy is this simple: minimize your losses, maximize your wins. It is a 1 unit progressive bet system, but you only move up on wins. So the way it works on a $15 table, $15, if that wins, you go to 30. So you basically take
double your bet.
You take the bullet.
So if it was 10, we would do 20.
So if you sit down with $150, you've got 10 bullets to try to get a good win streak. All you're trying to do is get a win streak to maximize that hot streak win potential, create jackpot opportunities, and minimize your losses. If you lose on any time of the progression bet, you go back down to 15. Never try to carry it over, because you don't want to maximize your loss streaks. You want to maximize your win streaks. So you start at 15, you win, you go to 30.
It's like putting the good energy in the air.
You're now using the casino's money to double your bankroll. If that $30 bet wins, you've turned a $15 bet into a $30 profit. You then go to 15 again. So now you're betting 45 again on an original $15 bet. If that $45 wins, you've now turned a $15 bet into a $75 bet.
But do you double it, or you just go up by 15?
You just go up by 1 unit.
Okay.
Now, I got on the first night when we sat down to blackjack, it was down and wins, it was downs and wins, it was downs and wins. We never really got something started until my last 4 bullets. And this is the beauty of the system. Because you're using your previous winnings, you can do this with $15. The only thing that sucks is if you have to double or split, you have to have the bankroll reserve to be able to do those actions. So you don't want to really do that. But we got to the point where I'd won 5 in a row. I had $75 on the bet. And we had already won the previous one, so I was up like 150. If I pulled the 75, I would have been up 225. But if that 75 hits again, it's all just off of a $15 bet. So don't look at that bet as a $75 bet. Look at that bet as a $15 bet with a $75 payoff. You can't think of it as, if I pull that $75, I have it, because then you're not maximizing your win potential and you're giving money back to the casino. If you play blackjack 100 hours, you will always lose. 49.5 with perfect strategy. That 0.5 is the casino's edge. You will lose money. So you have to maximize when you are winning. Bet strategy does it by riding a win hype. Really, really good bet strategy for blackjack. Give it a go. 1 up a unit. If you win, if you lose, you go back down to 15.
How many bullets? 5?
Depends on your bankroll. I would sit down with 150 on a $15 table. This system also works if you don't have that big of a bankroll for like a $100 system on a $10 table, but instead of going up on 10s, you go up on 5. So if you are on a $10 table, you bet 10, you go to 15, then you go to 20, then you go to 25. That way, when that does lose, it doesn't hurt nearly as bad, but you will just be hemorrhaging money if you don't get on a win streak fast, because every time you lose $10 plus. Every time you win, you only win $10, $15, $20 plus. So it's harder to negate the losses if you don't get on a win streak early. Our craps strategy, and the reason why craps did so well, is I do a field farmer's bet. So it is basically the pass line. I generally just take 1 odds, maybe 2 times odds, depending on what the number is, how I'm feeling, but generally just the pass line, the odds, if I take it. I'll do 1 unit in the field, and I'll do 1 unit on 5, 8, and 6. If the roller is just rolling, anytime the field hits, you win $10. Anytime 5, 6, or 8 hits, you win $4. And what you're really looking for is just someone to roll for a long time. Because $10, $4, $10, $4, $4, $4, $10, $10, $10, $10 triple because they rolled a 12, that starts to rank in money. You have to be careful, though, because you'll feel pressure to push up those numbers, double your field, go into the hard ways. Strategies work when you stick to them regardless of the excitement going on. Casinos win money on impatience and on boredom. If you're sitting at the table and you just do the pass line, you have a 65% chance to win. The casino knows this on craps. It's a leading loss because they know no one's going to sit there and just play the pass line because it's boring as shit. Because if someone's on a hot number and they never hit the number, they could roll 25 times before you see any action on the pass line. In the field bet, I keep it exciting and keep it fun for me because every roll you're making money as long as it's not the bad number. Every single number besides 7, you win with my system. It's either $4 or it's either $10, depending on the minimums. So that's our crap system, that's our roulette systems, and that's our blackjack system. The last thing we'll talk about is slots, which is your best chance to build up points, how to get prime really, really quickly. Every $5 you spend on a slot machine gives you 1 point. They say you need $2,500 to get to prime, 2,500 points to get to prime. You times that by 5. You need to make it look like in the casino on slot machines, you have risked, not won or lost, you have risked $1,000.
So we do the 150
or $1,250.
Yeah.
So if you've got the bankroll and you just do $10 spins, you'll get there in 125 spins. If you sit on a dollar slot machine, which is a lot of time that we do with like $200, $100, and you spin that until you get the bonus. If the bonus hits and you get above that $100 threshold, say we wagered $35 of our actual bankroll, we get the bonus, we win 42. So now the ticket looks like 112. We're going to pull that. Profit on a slot machine is profit. You have to take it. Do not go, great, I've got 11 more chances to get a bigger win.
Nope.
That slot machine is already paid out. It's highly likely that you will not get another large win on that slot machine pretty consecutively. You have to go find a different machine and you just have to kind of ride the wave of luck. Always let the machine speak to you. When you see one under the corner of your eye and it's open, that machine is calling you, go sit down at that, spend some money, understand your risk management. When you always sit at a slot machine, whatever your bankroll is, create a floor and the ceiling is profit. So your floor is always this, your ceiling is whatever you started with.
Your walk-off point.
If you put $95 in that machine because you have a $95 ticket, do a 60% floor, so go down to 40. And then if you made a win that gave you more than $95, say you won 97, right? You got a $30 win and it puts you at $97, you pull that ticket. You made $2. You made the casino think that you spent money, you racked up points, and you didn't lose anything. That is how you maximize profits on slot machines.
Now, if it's a Sando, you got to just get up.
Yes, you have to go to your floors.
And you have to do your...
You can't move past your floors.
Yeah.
You have to set floors in place. I always recommend 60% of your bankroll. Risk 40% of your bankroll that you're willing to on a slot machine. Generally, you need to give it some gas to be able to get to the bonuses.
But you also have to be betting the right numbers. Like, you're not going to get the big wins unless you're on the, like, $1.50. Like, read the rules.
Yeah.
And figure out where your lines are at and what items you need from the spin to win.
Yeah. Couple caveats with slot machines. Progressive games, which are the games that have the 3 piggies or the birdies or the little vats of
Coins
gold.
or the drums.
Whatever it is. And they're like, oh, this one's gotten a lot. This is really full. It's very big. This progressive game is about to hit this game. Sit down at me. Those are all lies. It's a game of probability. They are using that as marketing to advertise to you to make you think the player has a better advantage. Every single roll is independent of themselves. The only thing you are looking at when you see that picture, it's like mount farming in World of Warcraft. Every time you kill the boss, you have a 1 in 100 chance to get the mount. Say that the mount drops on 100 out of 100.
Well, let's just run it again on 3 alts.
You're just going to keep rolling that dice
Yeah.
until you get 100. What you're looking at on that picture is how many times the dice has rolled before it hit 100.
Yeah.
And obviously it's not going to be hundreds in this sense, it's probably thousands. But say it triggers at 100, right? Maybe it has gotten 75 of the trigger icons, the little coins or the pigs or whatever it is, and it hasn't hit yet. That picture is going to show a really, really large fat pig that's like, I'm about to explode, because there's been 75 attempts on that and it hasn't popped yet. It means nothing to the individual player. It's the same thing as reading the statistics on a roulette machine. Like if you're looking at it and you see, oh, well, the third column hasn't hit, it's only at 24%. It may never hit the third column again for the rest of the night. It is an individual variable. It's unlikely that happens, but you shouldn't make your bets off of that type of stuff. Just find the machines that call to you. Do not get distracted by the progressive machines. I would say 80% of the machines downstairs are progressive machines right now. So do not look at those giant icons that say this is about to pop and go, I'm about to get a double popper.
We even just proved it on the machine that we did with the pumpkins.
I was trying to prove it to someone, so I sat down at a machine that didn't have either icon really big.
Yeah.
In fact, on this machine specifically, the icon doesn't spawn unless it's had at least one attempt. And there was one that was missing. And that was the one that popped. It was like 5 spins, and the icon that hadn't even spawned yet, I got a double popper, and then we got a chance attempt on the machine, which means it was a special roll when I hit the button where it goes, great, we're going to automatically give them the bonus, or we're going to give them a really good wild spin, whatever it is. The machine is now manipulated to give us a good roll. And it made the bonus appear, and it was the one that hadn't even spawned in yet. So the picture showed the other one should have popped based off of probability. The other one was the one that popped because individual probability is not meritable on the larger scale of everyone in the casino. You just have to ignore that stuff.
They're independent of each other.
So, to recap, we started with 370. We're at 710.
So do we put the 370 away?
We can. It depends on the games we want to play. Now our bankroll has doubled. We can now go to $20 Fibonacci. We can do $25 bets minimum on blackjack and just increase the bankroll again. You have to go to these progressive steps. I would always track the casino as like 5 individual bankroll entries. You've got the people with only $100 to spend, and they should be playing on all the games that they can afford. You can do all of these systems, but do them at the increments that make sense to your bankroll. You've got the $500 entry point. You've got the $1,000 entry point. So I say we started our bankroll system on the $100 entry point, even though we had 300. Basically gave us 3 bullets at that increment.
Yeah, because you're trying to.
Now
we're on
we
an
have
8-day
more,
cruise. You're
right.
not trying to. So if you only bring like $400, you're not trying to lose your $400.
Play a $500 baseline.
Yeah, that's not your bankroll.
If
you
your
don't.
bankroll's not meeting that.
You had $200 to spend today,
So, yeah.
and you rided that 200 to 400. Yeah,
to 350
Yeah.
today so
Yeah.
far, and it's only 4:30. So our goal is part 2 of this will be a recap a couple more days later to see where we're at, what went wrong, things that we're going to improve upon. But I think for step 2, we go into the next increment of bets. So if $10 was the minimum, we will now do 20 and 25s on blackjack. And we will go into the $3 spins on the slot machines and just put in more of the money and use that as our base bankroll. So on slots, instead of $100, we're going to start with $200. On roulette, we're going to go to $20.
but then you're playing with just your winnings.
Right now, we are literally only playing with just casino money. We have $400 of casino money to fuck about with. So I feel comfortable going into the next increment to try to maximize the next profit.
But remember, the more you play, the more money you spend.
That's why you have to. You can't stay at the same system. You have to do some change, right? If you ran the statistic of every single day I'm going to play blackjack for 10 hours, I'm going to bet $10, and I'm always going to play, and it's just this is, I'm never going to change anything, you will lose money. If you do not make a change, the casino will win. That is what they're there for. You as a player trying to profit in the machine have to change the probability enough to where you have the advantage, at least the best case scenario. If you don't make any changes in any of your game systems ever, you will always lose because the probability is the casino will start to win eventually. You just aren't. You want to do this and maximize this, but the statistical line always will go like this. And if you're going down, you have to change something to
get
go
back up.
to go. I need to do this again, right?
Yeah.
So if you always bet $10, you will eventually lose. If you move up, when you get those smaller wins, those smaller win windows where say you're betting $10 and you're like, great, I just won 40. I won 4 in a row. That's awesome. On a $10 increment, that won't keep you alive forever. But if you did that after you've already been doing 10s, so now we're moving on into 25s, we get that small win window.
You can just keep doing this level every day if you really wanted to just have it be very arcade style, where like
you will be giving the casino money. If we look at the whole entire bankroll trip, we have technically banked an extra K. that we just haven't even fucking touched yet. We're willing to touch it, but we're going to see if we don't have to.
Yeah, we should wish them luck in their games, and maybe they can leave a comment about what strategies they use when they go on cruise ships.
Yeah, for sure. Check you guys out in part 2. Wish us luck. We're going to continue grinding. We'll let you know how it goes.
Bye.